Normalize talking about sex. It's so, so important because it's the gift that keeps on giving because it's going to benefit you, benefit them, and make it fun. Laugh. Don't make it so serious. Make it really fun. Be playful. Compliment your partner. Um, Keep like flirting with your partner. Walk by and them spank their butt. Just be playful. Have fun.
My friend Nayri Geary is with us today. Nayri is a successful investor and entrepreneur, a product creator, an artist, and an abuse survivor. Through her personal journey recovering from abuse, she discovered some insights and secrets that very well may be applicable to your life. Stick around because we're going to cover a very spicy topic that we have never discussed before on this podcast. And that is how to rekindle romance and play in your relationship for those of us over the age of 40. Let's get into it. Nayri, so great to see you. Thanks so much for joining me today on C60 Health Connections.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here.
I am so excited to have this conversation. I want to give a couple disclaimers kind of upfront and really quick, because I think it's important for our audience to know, number one, you're not selling anything. You're just talking about your own personal experience. And today's podcast interview came out of an informal conversation that you and I were having where you really clued me into some things that I had no idea that even existed. So I thought that this was you and I had such a fun conversation that I thought, hey, we should record it and bring it live. So I think it'll be of great value and benefit to our C60 community. So thanks so much for being willing to talk to us about this topic that really it impacts everybody as our hormones change and as we age through life. So first of all, can you give our audience a little bit more background about you and kind of how you got onto this path where you became so passionate about romance and play and just spicing things up in life?
I guess it goes back to in high school, I wanted to be a sex therapist. And then I learned that they didn't have coaching back there. This is a long time ago. And it was going to take forever to go through school. And I'm not a school person, but I'm an avid reader. I just love reading about communication, relationships, sexuality, and just optimizing that. It's just such a big interest for me.
That's awesome. So one of the things that you told me about, which I did not know, was a particular type of test, a very affordable test. I think it costs under $20. And again, you're not an affiliate. I'm not an affiliate. We're not selling this, but it's a wonderful resource. So can you tell us a little bit about this particular test and how it might help people with their rekindling of romance and play?
Yeah, absolutely. It's I'm not associated with them, but I just love it so much. It's the erotic sexual blueprint by Miss Jaya. And it's actually, to take the quiz, it's only $17 per person. So it's incredible. I came across it 5 years ago and I took the quiz and it just changed my sexual life. It enhanced it. It was so great. Provided so many tools. You get a full report. And me and my partner took the quiz and we shared it with each other. And it just, the light bulbs went out. I was like, oh my God, I can see now what my turn-ons are and my turn-offs are. It was incredible for me.
And one thing I think is really cool about this test, like you said, you and your partner can take it. If you don't have a partner, you can also take it just to learn more about yourself. But the cool thing is that there's just a ton of information, ongoing education and information once you kind of get into this ecosystem. So we're going to put a link there. Right here, we'll pop it up so people can have access to that and know exactly what we're talking about. But can you tell us a little bit about what are some of the initial insights that you were able to get from this test? Like, what are some of the things that you didn't know about yourself that you were able to, once you took the test, you're like, oh, that makes sense?
Yeah. So I found out that I'm a sensual and energetic. And in the report, it said especially for a sensual, our environment is so important. So I need the good lighting, and I need a clutter-free area and music. And if it's that very sexy, sensual environment. And when that's there, that gets my juices going. It turns me on. It gets me in the mood. So versus someone who's sexual, who they can take their clothes off and they're ready to go. That's not me. So that was really cool to learn. And even as an energetic, that the push and pull and teasing versus getting straight to it. And it just all made sense. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, now I see why I don't get turned on if there's any clutter around.
That makes a lot of sense. You've also, I understand, for many years now, you've been what I would describe as very self-aware. And you have been down the path of, taking great care of your body, being focused on making sure that you know exactly what's going on with your body. So let's talk a little bit about hormones. And in your opinion, again, you're not a medical doctor, and we're not selling anything, but in your opinion, how has having an understanding of kind of what's going on with you physiologically with your hormones been of benefit as you've navigated, through your 40s and now beyond?
Yeah, that was huge because a little over 10 years ago, I've been on hormone replacement therapy for 10 years now. But years ago, I had no idea what was going on with me. I was just confused. My body's off. I'm so confused. What's going on? How is it that sometimes I'm turned on and other times it's just months, nothing is happening? But what I've learned over the years, especially as high achievers, we weren't meant to work long hours. So nowadays, women, we're just doing so much. It's the career and taking care of household and running errands. It's a lot. That stress affects our hormones. And it's just this cycle that just goes downhill. So what I realized is my testosterone was so low. And I see it every time when I work on a project and I'm just so consumed in it, my testosterone drops every time. So I get my hormones checked every 3 to 5 months and just keep it regulated. And I feel so much better in general. So,
That's awesome. What
yeah.
about food, exercise, sleep,
Mhm.
water? Talk to us a little bit in your experience how those
Um,
healthy lifestyle choices and making sure that now that you have an understanding of your energetic sexual nature, how all of those healthy lifestyle choices kind of help support you and how you're feeling and how you can show up in a partnership with somebody.
yeah, definitely. I'm mindful of what I eat, but I'm not hard on myself because when you're so hard on yourself, I eat healthy 80% of the time.
Mhm.
And then I indulge too. Because if you're so strict, then you have that constant stress going on. And stress messes up your hormones. So then that's the last thing you want. Getting good quality of sleep, making sure your room is dark, because quality sleep is important because, again, it goes back to your hormones. When you don't sleep well, your hormones are off. And besides working out, having some kind of movement, but something you enjoy. If you don't enjoy weight training and you're forcing yourself, your body's not happy. You're just showing up and you're like, I don't want to do this. But what if you find out you love hiking and being in nature and that lights you up? Your body feels different. Anytime
Mhm.
we do something we enjoy, our body just lights up. It's very different. But all of that, even if you eat healthy and you work out, I really think we also need to de-stress. We need to be kind to ourselves and give ourselves time to do self-care, whether that's sitting in quiet for a little bit or journaling or meditating, something, even if it's 15 minutes of quiet time to listen to chill music just for yourself. I think that's important, very, very important.
Is that something you recommend people do every day?
Absolutely. Yeah. And you'll find the time. It's so worth it. I have a morning routine and I understand that I have more time since I work from home. But even if it's 15 minutes, just time for you just to sit in quiet is so, so important versus waking up with chaos and I need to make my coffee and rush to the work and just give yourself a little time to take care of yourself first.
That's perfect. How have you found when you do that? How does that change how you can show up in a relationship?
Well, if I'm just rushing, then I'm stressed out all the time, you know? So then that's when I notice I'm short with my partner. And I realize, oh, I'm so sorry. It's not you. I'm sleep deprived. I am overworked. I didn't take care of myself. My cup is not full. So therefore, I'm lashing out on you. And it had nothing to do with them. You feel more irritable. They can just, I don't know, leave the coffee cup on the counter and you're like, why did you leave it there? The sink is right there. And it had nothing to do with them. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense. Now,
Yeah.
you're somebody who really embraces um, play, travel, fun. You have intentionally set up your lifestyle so you can incorporate as much play and travel and fun as you can handle, which is
Yeah.
awesome, and it's aspirational for many people. Can you talk to us for the folks that this might be a new concept, or maybe it's something that they just let go of, and a decade's gone by since they felt energized and excited. Do you have any suggestions for how people can access more play and fun just locally without having to plan a major trip with their partner right now? Maybe resources are tight, but how they could do something that's accessible and attainable just in their own home environment.
Yeah, absolutely. Every state has something, right? A lot of times we think of travel like a big thing. We're going to another country or another state, but we forget what's in our backyard. Even if you just look up touristy things to do in your area, but if you have to put it on the calendar. I know how I am. If it's not on the calendar, it's not going to happen. But it's so important for yourself and for your relationship, because it is novelty too, to do something new with your partner, go explore together. It brings that excitement of, like, even as simple as what we have by us, because I live in a small town, there's a petting zoo. Just doing something like that with your partner and you're laughing, and it just brings you so much joy. And then you can talk about it and you light up when you talk about it. You're like, we experienced this together. It just, it adds to your relationship and to yourself too.
That makes a lot of sense. So I love that you're making a commitment to book it in advance, get it planned, get it on the calendar, figure it out, and then, in your opinion, uh, how often should we be planning fun dates with our partner? Is this once a week? Is it twice a week? Is it once a
Uh,
month? What do we need to do? What do we really need to do to cultivate and develop a very fun, exciting relationship as we age?
I think that minimum a date every week, one date, is essential to a relationship. And just keep it the same day. So you're not constantly trying to move things around. Like, I have some friends that do it every Wednesday. Every Wednesday is their date night. Nothing else gets scheduled around that. So, but what people need to understand, you don't need to do like grand things. Sometimes it's just as simple as a blanket in your backyard with some candles, charcuterie board, and some wine, and just phones away. It's some simple. Or just at night, just after, make dinner together. And again, but the phones have to be away. My rule is no phones on dates, period. Nothing's going to happen within those couple of hours. Nothing's going to happen. We were fine without cell phones before. We'll be just fine. You have to focus on each other, because it's important to invest in your relationship.
I love that you're a big advocate for this like present moment awareness with your partner.
Mhm.
So keeping the phones away, committing that time. When you do that, what have you found kind of comes out of your ability to communicate with your partner?
Yeah, like, we just, like, you truly listen to them. And we also have to be active listeners too. A lot of times when there's a conversation going on, we all do it, where you're thinking about what you're going to say. So I think, yeah, again, phone is a distraction, but if you're active listening too, then you're truly paying attention to what your partner is saying, because you care, and it just goes a long way.
On that front, with regard to communicating care, I think one of the things that really stood out for me when we had this conversation that kind of led us to having this podcast was just how we can continue to improve our communication with our partner over time, and how being open-minded and receptive to new information about ourselves, about our partner, can really, have play a role into, improving your relationship in general. As you learn more about yourself, you might use this test that we're referencing. You might learn some new stuff about your partner. How important do you think it is for people to be able to receive and learn new information about themselves and their partner as we evolve through life?
Oh, it's so important because we're constantly changing and evolving. The person you are in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, it's just we're different. And especially people that are into self-development, we're changing even faster. So it's constantly you want to check in. You don't want to say, "Oh, I realize you're not into hiking," and you just keep that in your mind as my partner doesn't like hiking. It doesn't in 10 years from now, they can love hiking, so you're learning something new about them. But what I really, really, really want is for people to normalize talking about their sex life, because there's so many dissatisfied people. And I know it's hard if you've never talked about it, but just having something like, hey, let's I'd love for us to talk about our sex life and see what can we do to try new things and improve our sex life. And just by asking your partner first, is there anything you ever wanted to try? You know, let's talk about it versus saying, I want this. Start
Mhm.
with asking them what they want and start the conversation there.
So you're leading with curiosity, like you're sincerely interested in
Yeah.
what's something new that you can learn from your partner that you might not know,
Yeah.
rather than expressing, you know, frustration or like boredom or something like that. You're leading with curiosity as a way to cultivate and nurture kind of the growth of the relationship.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What if we were able to normalize talking about our sex life, in a way that was productive and not grotesque and wouldn't get us kicked off of YouTube? What are some other things that we could consider to help normalize this conversation and bring it in,
Mm.
into a really healthy context in our relationship?
Making it fun. Like maybe separately write down things that you want to explore. And maybe you don't know what that is. Maybe you can just Google it and say, new things to explore in the bedroom, you know? And there's so much that comes up, and maybe you've never thought about it. You're like, what? I've never thought about, I don't know. I mean, I talk about getting blindfolded so much. It's so simple,
Okay,
but
well, this is
yet,
an easy thing. Let's talk about it because we haven't talked
yeah,
about it yet. So you like a
yeah.
blindfold?
I love it. It's probably my favorite thing because I know when you take away one of your senses, it
Mhm.
enhances the other ones. But now if you fold your partner and you're just caressing them, but asking for feedback, do you want, do you want it softer or harder? You're getting to know their body, and it's an exploration. And it's just so fun not knowing what's going to happen. You're so excited. But if you add on top of that, you say, I would, if you can keep your hands to the side while I explore you, now you take away two senses and it enhances everything even more. But that's something so, so simple to
Mhm.
start with,
What's another simple tool that you really like?
sex toys.
Yep,
There's
so that's a
so
different it's a
many.
different angle you can go down and explore.
Yeah, yeah, or massage oils and just playing with scents and um berries, you bring just berries to the bedroom and just play and laugh. Sex should be fun. Like I don't think you should be so serious and I need to look sexy and I need to look a certain way. No, be silly, have fun, make it fun. It's you just got to make it fun. You got to have
Okay, I love it. You mentioned massage oil. So let's talk a little bit about massage, touch, lubes. Like as we age over 40, things change, and for men and for women in that department. So in your opinion, what's important about lube?
Oh my goodness. Lube is so important because just if you don't use lube, then it's going to cause friction, and friction causes micro tears, which is not good for us. But with lube, it's just the glide. It's so important, and it enhances your better chances of having an orgasm. And then I think lube is so essential, and people forget we're so hard on ourselves because we compare ourselves when we were in our 20s, where you were naturally lubricated too. But we forget that it's so important to know that when you're about to start your period and when you're ending your period, your estrogen is low, which causes dryness. I've talked to so many women, and that was me, included me. I used to feel bad. I'm like, why am I not naturally lubricated? What's wrong with me? But just to
Nothing.
know that's normal.
Mm-hmm.
That is so normal. But we don't talk about it,
Yep.
you know?
Yeah,
So
people are, they're not willing to go there. I mean, they might talk about it with like a healthcare practitioner, maybe, but if they're going to just an allopathic, regular get your checkup kind of healthcare practitioner, there's typically not that time allowed for an in-depth conversation about what's really going on, in your sex life. Like I've never been asked that question by a normal practitioner. With a functional medicine doctor or, somebody that's a specialist, you can dive into those conversations.
yeah, absolutely, for sure. So I hope we normalize that, because it's very important, and it's okay to use lube.
Yeah. We have created
Yeah.
edible massage oil for a lot of reasons, because it is truly an edible massage oil. But if you're interested in a natural 2-ingredient solution for this exact situation that we're talking about, I'm going to put a link here so you guys can check that out.
I
All
have
right.
that product next to my nightstand, so I use it personally. Yeah.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yes, I love it.
So I know that you had mentioned making it fun. What about role playing? Because I think that it's another element of it that's in your toolbox of things that are fun. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I love role playing. So just to back up a little bit, women need novelty. What people don't know is women get bored first before men do. All this time, people thought that men get bored first. It's the opposite. So creating novelty, it's so fun. Even if it's just do something simple, you meet your partner at a bar and you pretend you're someone else. Just use a different name. Pretend like they're picking you up at the bar and they're going to buy you a drink. Maybe play a little hard to get. Like, oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. Just have fun with it and just stay in character and follow through the whole thing. And maybe if it's even better if it's a hotel lobby bar and then you have booked a room, and then you go up to the room and just make it so fun and do something that maybe you've never done before.
I love your ideas because when people haven't been doing this and they don't have an idea about how to spice things up, this is definitely a way that you could access some fun and play and a new experience in your backyard. Essentially, you don't have to leave town to do it, but you can create some space. And I love your suggestions.
And of course, people say that, well, it's acting and I don't know how to act. Listen, anything we do for the first time, we're not going to get it right, but just it's okay to giggle and have fun with it. And just you get more comfortable and you learn. And then from there, you just get more and more creative, like different characters, could be, you're meeting up this doctor or a lawyer.
Are you wearing costumes, Nayri?
Oh my God, I love costumes. Yes, for sure.
That's hilarious.
Oh, if you add on a wig too, make it.
Oh, add a wig. Okay, there you go.
So fun. Then you're
change
a
your
whole
hair
different
color.
person.
Yeah.
Yes, it's so fun.
I like it. All right. One of the other things that you told me about, which I think is so important to talk about, is just the responsibility that each partner has in order to contribute to the relationship in terms of making it spicy, changing things up, being interested and engaged. Because if either partner kind of checks out and becomes bored or just like things become mundane, it's not, both people have to be invested in order to bring the heat back. It's not one person's responsibility. So can you talk to us a little bit about like how you've seen that play out and why that's so important?
Mm. I've noticed when we're dating, it's interesting, right? You're courting the person, you're chasing them, you're wowing them, you try new things, and that's what makes it exciting. And that's why it's the honeymoon period. Everything is so exciting. But if you then keep doing the same thing, you're going to the same restaurants, you're having the same um yeah, like same meal at same restaurant, and you're not trying anything new. And especially sexually, I know I've been there before where I'm like, okay, I know exactly what the next move is because it's just such a routine. So, take it outside of the bedroom, especially if you don't have kids, or get a babysitter, play in the living room and kitchen counter, make it exciting. And um, just act like you're college students and just go wild, explore each other.
So
Um,
just keep the chase alive. Like keep
keep the
keep
chase
dating each
alive.
other throughout the duration of your relationship rather than kind of putting it on autopilot and just, putting your feet up and thinking like, oh, it's good.
Yeah, I got them. We're in the relationship, whatever it is. If we're moved in together, we're married, we're good. Yeah, we're content. I hear that. But then when I talk to people separately, they're like, I'm so bored with my sex life. Because you're not trying anything new,
Mhm.
or even dating. I'm like, when was the last time you went on a date? Just to go on a date and doll up for each other, take your time and make it fun. So when I get ready for dates, it's fun. I play music. I'm listening to music while I shower, while I get ready, and I dance. It's just making it so fun. It's already fun and exciting before we've even gone on the date. So I'm in this amazing mood. I personally recommend don't just turn off your computer and go, from work straight to date. Just have that transition time to switch your brain off from work to it's date time right now. Freshen up,
Mhm.
you know.
If you and your partner live together, you're married, is your recommendation that you get ready separately? Like if you space it out so you can have some of that dramatic, I don't know how that person's going to show up. Like you can have that personal private
Yeah.
space before you come together.
If you have space and you can do that, that's great. Like if you have multiple bathrooms, maybe do that, you know.
Mhm.
Or if they're getting off work and you're having to meet them, then that's great too. If I mean, if you can do
Mhm.
it, or don't show them what you're gonna wear and just surprise them that
Yeah.
way. Um, when possible, do it. If you're not sharing like one bathroom, let's say, you know, for
So for
sure.
the people that come to you and they report, I'm bored. We've run down a whole list of like things that you can do when you're talking to people and they're like, I'm Neri, I'm bored. What should I do? What are your top three recommendations?
I think communication, like
Mhm.
you just really need to sit down and say, and again, be kind about it, because you don't want your partner to feel attacked, or they feel that, wow, I'm not doing it right. Just start with a compliment too. I love you. I love our sex life. But I would love to optimize this, because I want to know, is there anything you've thought about trying or exploring? And I'd love to share some things with you too. Or you can say, I want to try something new, but I have no idea what to try, but maybe let's just look it up online and see what things we can try together. And then if you both agree on certain things, start with those first, then go to other things that are like the maybe round, where you know but start with those first.
That's great.
Yeah.
Um, any words of wisdom or advice for people who have, maybe they're coming out of, maybe it's a similar background that you experienced where they're dealing with some trauma and some abuse, and maybe it's gotten in the way, maybe it's been a roadblock for them in
Mm.
terms of starting a new relationship or even enjoying a current relationship. Do you have any recommendations for where people should start if they need to overcome some things that have occurred in the past? as a place to get to where they want to go in their relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. If there's any trauma, especially sexual trauma, we seriously make it a priority, because you come out on the other end. It helps you in so many aspects of your life, not just sexually, but how you show up and your confidence. But I've tried different tools. I mean, I've done the talk therapy, I've gone to retreats. I I've sat with it to release it and know that it wasn't my fault. This happened to me, it wasn't my fault. These were the cards that I was dealt, but I refused to be the victim. And I went to a retreat where I actually wrote down a letter to my abuser saying that I forgive you. And I know that the reason he did that because he was in a bad place too. But I was releasing him. I released him and wrote him a forgiveness letter. And it was hard. Like, we don't have to forget, but forgiveness is for us to heal us. And then I took that letter and we burnt it in fire. So try that multiple times. There's something powerful about writing something down and burning it. Because you're truly doing it for yourself. And if you've had sexual trauma and your partner doesn't know about it, I really think it's so beneficial to talk to your partner about it so they understand why maybe you get triggered if you're touched a certain way, or if you're told certain things that trigger you. I really think that it's so powerful when we talk and communicate. It heals both parties.
Yeah. Do you have any, I mean, you outlined the writing forgiveness piece with the burning of the letter. Are there any other modalities that you think are particularly important that people should explore or consider if this is part of their sexual journey that they want to heal from?
Yeah. There are retreats too that help with specifically heal women from sexual trauma. Um, I think finding retreats are important, especially all women retreats too. So you can go there and you just scream and let it out, man. We
Be
got to
safe.
let it out
Yeah.
because it stays in your body. I mean, I did work for so long and there was still a little bit that needed to come out. Because when we hold on to trauma, it's just harming us. It's that energy that needs to leave your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, I certainly appreciate your time today. This has been such a fun and informative conversation, Nayri. Thank you so much for joining us. Um, do you have any parting words of wisdom that you'd like to share with the audience as it relates to rekindling romance and play?
Mm. Keep communicate with your partner. Make it normal. Normalize talking about sex. It's so important because it's the gift that keeps on giving, because it's going to benefit you, benefit them, and make it fun. Laugh. Don't make it so serious. Make it really fun. Be playful. Compliment your partner. Um, Keep like flirting with your partner, walk by and them spank their butt, just be playful, have fun, enjoy each other.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. You are an absolute delight, and we greatly appreciate your insight and wisdom. And if you guys want to learn more about this test that Nayri had mentioned, we're going to put it in the show notes. We'll also have a link posted right here. Thanks so much, Nayri.
Thank
Have an awesome day, and we'll talk to you later.